Yes, lads, welcome back to 90 More. My name is Kosi, and England have just beaten Germany in a boring round of 16 game. Look, I think England deserved wherever they got in that, in that game. Their result is totally, absolutely deserved, but the game was so disappointing. You couldn't tell it was Germany, you couldn't tell it was England. Well, I think you could tell it was England because Southgate, right from the group stages, we have seen poor performances from England. They've just been, edgy, so edgy, and I think that is the man on my screen, Raheem Sterling. He's done it again. 4 games in this tournament, 3 goals. What a player they have in this tournament. But we also have to talk about Jack Grealish. I think the English have so many reasons to celebrate. You have Jack Grealish, getting in that, super class, super class, master class performance coming on from the bench. You have Harry Kane scoring his first goal of the tournament. I think there's a lot of, lack of confidence in Harry Kane, and of course the English fan base as well. What is going on with Kane? There's a very big question. But another reason to celebrate for me is beating Germany in the round of 16, and Raheem Sterling, what a star this guy has become. Last season, I think he's been brilliant ever since he started playing under Pep Guardiola. I think he's become a very interesting star to watch. So England are through to play either Sweden or Ukraine. That should be an easy one. Germany are out. Joakim Low, I'm totally disappointed. We'll get into Germany, but let us start off with England. I think what England tried to do, and I think I expected this, they never tried to dominate the game. They never tried to become the big spenders on the table. All they did was sit back, wait for Germany, wait for Germany to do their thing, and then come around, take them on a break, and that's all they did all game, all 90 minutes. No English fan is gonna come out here and say we played a very interesting game. No English fan is gonna come out and say it was a masterclass from Southgate. Well, you could say it was a masterclass from Southgate because in terms of quality, you could look at England and you're like, you know what, they're a little bit better, but I think in terms of the quality of football both nations display, Germany are far ahead in terms of the quality of football. So I didn't expect them to go toe to toe with Germany. I think the quality was a little bit advanced. I think this was a real test for Southgate. I think it was a real test for England. They had never beaten Germany in any big competition, never. 3 times they had lost, and the 4th one they win it 2-0. But I think in this one, the players to thank, particularly, I think the first one is Raheem Sterling. I've seen many people on Twitter tweeting Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, and we've literally, just put out Raheem Sterling out of the picture. Of course, Grealish comes on to in the second half, and he has a huge impact on the game, and we'll go into Grealish. But what I think about Sterling, you give it to him. He's been very consistent throughout the tournament. That is one of the points you give him. But he's also managed to be a very important player on a big stage like Germany. So for me, my player in this game is Raheem Sterling, because that goal he scores is so crucial that Germany is so broken, and the second goal is as easy as that. So Raheem Sterling, I think, played a very big role in that in that English win. Now, of course, Jack Grealish. Anyway, Grealish, doing Grealish things. Southgate not starting him for almost 3 out of the 4 games he's played in the Euros. For me, there is no explanation. I mean, there is no explanation. He's the best player you have in the squad. He's the best talent. Harry Kane has scored the goals this season. I think Raheem Sterling is essential. Jadon Sancho is amazing. The likes of Jude Bellingham are astronomical talents. But Jack Grealish is a class apart. What Grealish offers to this English team, what Grealish offers to Aston Villa, the way he lifts them, to make them, to make them feel like, when you're an opponent playing Aston Villa, just like we are playing a big team. They're really not big. They're a small team. With all due respect to Villa, and I think there is much England will and can get out of Jack Grealish. Why he doesn't start him as Southgate? He's the manager. You know, he's got the tactical masterclasses. He's got them out of the group stages, and he's also got them through the round of 16 past Germany. So there is no way you can come out and say Southgate is bloody hell. No, I don't think he is bloody hell. He's got his statistics right. He's got his tactics right. And now he is into the quarterfinals. But Jack Grealish, the impact of such a player, you can't miss it. It's like Kevin De Bruyne at Belgium. It's like I think the only player I can compare to Jack Grealish at the moment in terms of impact, not in terms of talent, but in terms of impact, is Kevin De Bruyne. Because whenever De Bruyne is in that Belgian side, there's really a lot he offers. Whenever he's in that Manchester City side, there's a lot he offers. So Grealish hopefully starts in the quarterfinals, because starting with the quarterfinals, for me, it is now business. Even in the round of 16, I said in my preview on my channel, because it's Arsenal podcast, that it is business. It is now down to business. But in the quarterfinals, you can't. It's like a thread. It's like a thin thread that you can literally break with your saliva. So quarterfinals, you expect Jack Grealish to help them go through. They'll be playing either Sweden or Ukraine. That's an easy one. I think they totally deserve to be where they are. And obviously, you can't forget to talk about Harry Kane. However much they didn't have a good game, I think Harry Kane has been very, very, very key in their performance. He did set up the second goal, or start the run for the second goal, and finally he finished it. What an assist from Jack Grealish, but what a finish, what a header from Harry Kane. Typical striker. A typical striker goal, and it only explains why he's captain. It only explains why the likes of DCL are not really playing ahead of him. It only explains so many things why Harry Kane has to be in that England 11. So he scored his first goal of the tournament. He had really very, very poor a very poor run in the in the group stages. I think England as a nation were very, very poor as well. Honestly, their football was so ugly, very, very ugly. Against Croatia, that was a performance that you got it. You got it. We got the result. But if you ask me, was it that interesting? I don't think so. They are through. Ken scores for the first time in the Euros 2020. Helps his team to go to the quarterfinals. There is nothing more you can ask from England. Let us talk about Germany just in 1 or 2 minutes. Germany, Joachim Low, I'm totally disgraced, but mostly I'm so disappointed and disgusted. That was a very, very naive performance. I think the right word to use is naive. First and foremost, I think the lineup he went with, that was okay. Matthias Ginter, Matt Hummels, at the heart of that defense, and then Rudiger. I think that was fine. They could hold Harry Kane, and I think they did hold Harry Kane until some point in time when they couldn't hold Harry Kane and Jack Grealish. So I think the lineup was okay. The likes of Gosens, the likes of Toni Kroos, they were okay. But the tactics were so naive. The tactics were so defensive. They never opened at one point in time. I think in the round of 16, honestly, this is the game where we've seen two teams really do not open up. They didn't open up. Yesterday we did see Switzerland and France. That was 3-all. Switzerland 3, France 3. It was all open. Croatia 3, Spain 3. Still all open. Actually, no. We did beat Croatia 5-3 after extra time. But 90, it was 3-3. So you could see a lot of action. You have Wales conceding 4. Again, that was a very, very open game. We've seen fantastic performances in the Euros round of 16. This was the most disgusting performance from a nation at this round. They were so naive. Look, I don't understand what Joakim Low was trying to implement. Up to I think around the 60th minute or 70th minute, he made no changes. He had he had the likes of Leroy Sané on the bench. I think the first strategies didn't work, which were, I think he tried to possess the ball and have it, which really didn't work out with England. They tried to destabilize their play here and there. What I thought was, you have Thomas Muller and Timo Werner. You have two strikers that are really not getting any supply, and they're not helping out in fetching the ball, from the deeper areas to the front. Let one of them off. Honestly, Timo Werner, if only he had scored that chance in the first half, the game would have been so different. Very different. But the moment you have a striker that doesn't actually deliver on a big stage, that is what really happened. So I thought at least at halftime or 50 minutes in the game, 60 minutes or at least 1 hour in the game, you let one of the players go. You either let Muller go, who I think is more of a Rom Deuter. You just bring him on on that pitch to pick up the pockets and pick up those pockets of space. There were no pockets of space to run today. He was like a lone striker. Muller, a lone striker. Look, he can be a good striker, and he did miss a very, very good chance that I think could have changed the game. Goals do change games, we can all understand. But I think Muller was not getting that kind of supply he needs as a player, because he doesn't want the one-on-ones. He wants the area balls. They were never coming in. He wants those rebounds, rebounds at least from 8 yards, 9 yards, 10 yards. They were never arriving on his foot. He was totally useless in that game. Timo Werner, look, it was it was an absolute bogus of a tournament from Timo Werner. I think one of the biggest disappointments of this tournament has been Timo Werner. Honestly, and Chelsea fans, this should be putting a big worry on your faces as we go into the next season. We'll be talking about all the previews and everything, predicted lineups, previews, and match reactions on this channel. So make sure you do subscribe. But what should worry Chelsea fans is he has replicated the same poor performances from the Premier League into this tournament. You would think in this one he had a little bit more of quality behind him than at Chelsea, because you have the likes of Joshua Kimmich, you have the likes of Gosens, all good creative players. You have Kai Havertz shining in this tournament, creating chances for you. You're not scoring. Timo Werner, an absolute disappointment for Germany, and I think they will regret why you picked Timo Werner over Leroy Sané, because for me that was a big mistake. Honestly, it was a big mistake. So for me, Joakim Low, the lack of plan B was something that cost Germany the game. You've started with the idea we're coming out to dominate them, we're coming out to possess them. That is okay, that is fine, but it doesn't work. It hasn't worked out. What do you go for? What do you go for as a plan B? You stick to plan A, and England are just capitalizing on your performances. You're playing a high line. England just take advantage of that. Kane, superb. Not the goal, but I think the way he was dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, collecting that ball, running around with it, trying to look for the likes of Jack Grealish, Raheem Sterling, and the likes of Phillips, from deep to into the advanced positions. I think that was really brilliant. Germany, for me, it was a big disappointment. But anyway, like I said, England are through, Germany at home. England will play either Sweden or Ukraine, whoever qualifies in that one, in the quarterfinals. Hopefully we don't play Spain. We don't play England in the quarterfinals. I would love Spain to play. In the semifinals. I would love Spain to play England in at least in the final. The big question now for England is, can they win it? Because they have all the reasons to win the quarterfinal. They're gonna play. I suspect it will be Sweden. As I'm talking right now, it's going on. I suspect it will be Sweden. They have the quality. they have the confidence. You've beaten Germany. You've eliminated Germany. They have quality. They have the confidence to eliminate Sweden and go into the semi-finals where they will play. I'm not really sure about who they would play, but they can make it to the final. Spain, after eliminating Croatia and Switzerland, eliminating France. Of course, not going to be an easy one for Spain, but I expect at least us to try. It's gonna be more of a game that we can dominate. I think what France failed to do was to dominate that game against Switzerland. What we have never failed to do as Spain is to dominate and have those average possessions and dominate the average position. So I think England, Spain, Belgium, and Italy, I think those are the four that have big chances of getting into the final. Wait to see what happens after that. I'll speak to you very soon. We'll be talking about transfers. We'll be talking about so many things. Jack Grealish apparently on the transfer radar for Manchester City. £100 million came to Manchester City. Bid rejected, but City are very serious about that. Of course, and of course, Jadon Sancho and a couple of other stories. If you want us the news, then subscribe to my second channel. Link is in the video description. It's called Kossi's Arsenal Podcast. I'll see you very soon.